I got a deep video for you. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me, how do I utilize my time in isolation best? I think there is one little activity that you should be doing in this time that you definitely have time for. Be honest with yourself. If you don't have now, when will you have? Really, think about it. If you don't have now, when will you have? You have been put into that hyperbolic time chamber that is the ongoing reference on this channel for some reason. I think it's just because the entire screen behind me is white. Then again, so is it on Friendly Geordies, but minus the memes. That's all I've got to focus on. Hello? Help me! Alright, so what I want you to think about is, I'll set this up by putting this preface. This is a really scary thought. Okay. The way that you behave is not because of how you think. The way that you behave is because of how you have been trained to think. You are more or less a dog that can do maths. Good for you. But that's how the human brain works, right? It's still mammalian. It might be a little more intelligent than a bunch of other animals, but really, it's running by the same things. And how you can just condition, I don't know, an elephant to just stand on a ball and go, that is what's happening to you. And that is what has happened to you from the very early stages of your life, that you behave the way that your parents wanted you to behave, or that they trained you to behave. And sometimes some parents do that a little more consciously than other parents, and usually the ones that unconsciously train their kids are the ones that end up giving little shits of the kids, right? Like creating little shits of the kid. Pretty much, your brain is an imprint of everything that has happened to you. Every experience, every lesson, all the information that has been dumped into it, that is how your brain reacts in different situations. That is why when you are in a relationship with a woman, or if you're in a relationship with a man, you behave the way that your parents kind of treated you. And you respond the way that you would respond to your parents. Because your brain thinks, oh, another woman. I hate that thought. But I bring it up a lot, so apparently not. It seems like I'm kind of into it. Yeah, that's the rub-down of basically what is happening in your brain. And really, this is an incredible sentence. The more you think about it, the scarier this sentence becomes. Most people live life like they're walking through a haze. That is how most people go through their lives, right? It's just kind of like, graduated school, first job, got a promotion 10 years later, I guess I'll stay here, didn't have much savings, all right, now I'm poor. Went to Uluru once. But a lot of these things, people are kind of just victims of their circumstances because they are allowing themselves to be. But there are other people that create the circumstances around them. Who are those people? The very first step, as the Delphic Oracle says, know thyself. They are people that are more self-aware than others. This is why Jordan Peterson used to teach his kids in his class. I think it was one of his only course lectures. It was incredible. Such an amazing piece. Like, I've never even heard this before in any self-help book that I've ever read. And I've read a lot of self-help books. It's a genius little piece, and I don't want to hear any more bashing about him in the comments. Thank you very much. This is what you should be doing in your time in isolation. You should be writing an autobiography. Start with your earliest memory, the earliest one you have. I'll be doing it. In fact, I'm going to start as soon as I finish filming these videos. I'm going to start with the earliest memory I have and work my way up to now. You scared? You should be. You should be scared. Because what you will learn while doing that, it's kind of the same thing as spiritual autolysis, which I did once and I chose Freaked Out, which was just starting with what do I know? If you just write out every experience that you've had, a lot of connections will start springing in your mind, won't they? There will be a lot of things of, oh, that's the reason that I think like that, and oh, that's the reason that I behave like that. Gives you a history of yourself. In fact, I was just arguing the other day, just being like, man, what's the point of historians? I guess this is the point, on a societal level anyway, but I want you to become the historian of your own life. And it will be confronting, because I want you to write down all the embarrassing moments of your life, all the moments where you seriously fucked up. But I also want you to write out all the great moments of your life as well, all the exciting moments. I just want you to put down every memory you have as truthfully as possible. This is the other thing. Don't try and deceive yourself, because just know that you will be deceiving yourself enough. The reason that you remember a lot of these things, particularly in early childhood memory, a lot of it just has to do with photographs. A lot of it has to do with the fact that your parents said that that happened, but maybe they were wrong as well, because memory is just a notoriously bad way of going through life. But look, that does not take away from the fact that a lot of those instances, a lot of those things happen, and even the fact that you think that they happened that way shows you patterns of how you are behaving. And if you are able to identify how you have behaved throughout your life, because a lot of these things just subconsciously run, and you would have never ever thought that there is another way to behave in that situation, but there is. Because everybody is different. And that is pretty much the only reason that they are different, because your brain is an imprint and it works the way that it has been programmed to work. I always give the example of, if you are late for something, some people are really pissed off by the fact that you're late. Some people just find other things to do in that time. Who's better off? Who's better off in that situation? If you're waiting for a friend, just sitting there and getting pissed off, being like, he said he'd be here, or the person that just goes, oh, okay, I guess I'll just put out a, you know what I'm gonna say, book and read. Right? Yes. This will be a confronting exercise. And what Jordan Peterson says is that all of his students get really sucked into it. They see the value in it. They see that there's a reason that they are doing this. It's not just this kind of like, self-aggrandizing, self-absorbed activity. Although by definition, it clearly is. What it is doing is setting you up for the rest of your life. It is giving you a blueprint of your mind. It is giving you a blueprint of specifically your mind, how it operates, and what you want to change out of it, what you want to actually keep, what you want to improve upon, what you want to keep and expand upon, because that is working for you. All of that information will become available to you, and will make it clear in your head. And you'll be able to reference it for the rest of your life. You'll have something there just going, this is my guidebook. Now, I don't even want you really, it's up to you. I don't really want you justifying anything in it either. I just want you to write down, to your best of your ability, just, that real year 3 report of, we went to the zoo, we saw a zebra, Kevin threw an ice cream at the zebra, and then Miss got angry at him. I just wanted to be like that. I just want it to be as factual as you can remember it to be. Now, obviously, I understand that is by definition impossible. The mind does not work like that. But look, we're treading on old territory here. I've already made that point clear. I think that you can see the value in it, can't you? Because I am betting that you are scared to do this. I am. I really don't want to do this, because you know what it feels like? It feels like that moment in Star Wars where Luke Skywalker walks into that tree and faces his worst fear, himself. Are you up to the challenge though? Don't you think that that would be an extremely valuable use of your isolation time? And if you stuck to it and you only wrote for like half an hour a day or something like that, you can find half an hour. If you did that, I reckon that even if isolation finishes in the next week, which it won't, but even if it did, I think that you'll continue it. I think you will continue the work. Stew on that. I'll give other tips of what else you should be doing in isolation, other habits that you should be fostering. But I think that this is one of the most important ones, because especially, like we said before, 80% of your problems and joy will come from your relationships. And how do your relationships develop? Well, half of that is on you, isn't it? It's the psychology that you're bringing to the interactions that you have with your parents and your loved ones and your family and your girlfriends and potential girlfriends and boyfriends and all that jazz. So, figure out where you're going wrong. Figure out where you're going right. Expand on what you're doing that's right. Minimize what you're doing that's wrong. That's the tool. All right. Anyway, give me more questions. Press the like button. Sorry, that got a bit heavy, didn't it?